3:30.
Very good. Welcome to Troy Planning Commission meeting for April 26th. Please call the roll.
Mr. McGarry.
Present.
Mr. Westmeyer.
Here.
Mayor.
Here.
Mr. Titterington.
Here.
Mrs. Ehrlich.
Here.
Mr. Wolke.
Here.
Mr. Cappers.
Here.
All members are present.
Thank you. We have our minutes of April 12th meeting. Are there any additions, corrections, or deletions to those minutes?
Move for approval. Second.
Motion to support. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? I stand approved. Okay, staff, first item on the agenda, rezoning. Go right ahead.
Yes, sir. C Management LLC has requested the rezoning of West Market Street. This is part in lot 11550, or the 58 acres, from city administered county zoning to R5 single family residential. The property is located on West Market Street west of Nashville Road, or the Edgewater subdivision. The property is currently zoned city administered county zoning due to the annexation 04-2023. The land is currently used as agriculture and located west of the Edgewater subdivision. The surrounding zoning districts include R4, Plan Unit Development, and R2, Single Family to the east. County zoning of A2 General Agriculture is present to the west, north, and south, and I've attached a zoning map for your convenience. The Comprehensive Plan's future land use map, Figure 14-5, displays this property as future industrial, with the neighborhood commercial portion on the realigned Nashville-Wilson Road. The Comprehensive Plan states general residential is indicated south of Swales Road and Nashville Road because of the existing residential development and poor access to major roads or to I-75. These areas are most suitable for residential development to commensurate with city housing needs. A copy of the Figure 14-5 has been attached to this report as well. Due to the straightforward nature of the rezoning request, the compliance with the intent of the zoning code, and the fact that City Council is required to hold a public hearing if the request proceeds on, staff does not feel that a public hearing before the Planning Commission is warranted. It is staff's opinion that the proposed rezoning will achieve the desired development. However, the comprehensive plan identifies this area as future industrial. Future residential is referenced directly to the north and south of the referenced property. Additionally, the comprehensive plan does not clearly define the boundaries of the future industrial development. The intent of the R5 zoning district is to be mapped for selected areas of which will develop in the future. The zoning code also has transitional districts that are intended to be used as a buffer between residential and industrial districts. Staff is recommending that the Planning Commission recommend approval of the proposed rezoning from the city administered county zoning to R5 single-family residential based on the following. The rezoning is consistent with the intent and purposes of the City of Troy zoning code. The rezoning is consistent with the surrounding zoning districts, and the use is consistent with the permitted uses in the R5. I'll conclude my report.
Any questions of staff?
I move that we not have a public hearing. I second.
Motion second, not to have a public hearing. Keep in mind that an affirmative vote is no public hearing. Please call the roll.
Mr. Westmeyer.
Yes.
Mayor.
Yes.
Mr. Titterington.
Yes.
Mrs. Ehrlich.
Yes.
Mr. Wolke.
Yes.
Mr. Cappers.
Yes.
Mr. McGarry.
Yes.
Motion is passed. Commission will not have a public hearing.
Okay, to the matter at hand then, I'm going to start the discussion. I think that the residential zoning directly to the east and the agricultural zoning that it currently has is good for the residential zoning they want. However, I thought we were trying to maintain an inventory of commercial and industrial property along main thoroughfares, and this is right on State Route 55. How much of a concern is that to you planners?
This isn't a concern for this specific one, just due to the existing residential that's there. We do have other specific locations referenced on our comp plan that's going to be further intensified with our future comp plan as we're working through that process.
Has this property ever received any inquiries for industrial or commercial use?
We have not received any inquiries for industrial commercial since it's been vacant.
Any other questions of staff?
I have the same concern you had. We've talked in economic development about industrial sites. Where do we stand on this? Are we okay with this?
So our focus has been, where our primary industrial area is, which is kind of the Experiment Farm, West Main Street area, north and a little northwest of the industrial park, south of Pella. And so we continue to look at building on what we already have out there rather than creating new isolated industrial sites along 55. I think that's going to be a significant discussion when the the updated comprehensive plan process starts, and that is going to be a true look at the entire comprehensive plan. It hasn't been looked at really in whole. I know we did do some adjustments to it over the last five or 10 years, but there is, we have sent an RFQ out. There are 11 different firms that want to talk about maybe spearheading our update. So it'll be not to be too spot on, but a fairly comprehensive process, we think. And this will certainly be part of that discussion.
Making this area industrial kind of feels like it's out of place right next to residential like that.
Thank you.
And this is the land that the school was looking at, so it would have been rezoned to fit the schools, right?
Well, it could have been a residential district too, because instances are permitted in residential districts.
Right.
And directly to the west of this is just additional agricultural property, right?
Correct. It was annexed, so we do not have any future plans at this time.
The land west of that is already annexed?
Yeah, it was two big parcels that were annexed with the Hugo-Iser annexation. This is just the southeast portion.
So it's only about a fourth of the total that was annexed, and only this fourth is what's being asked to be rezoned. The rest of it would stay in county administered.
City administered.
Or city administered county, so, okay.
See, I think the city's missing the boat. I mean, I think that we've had commercial at the I-75-55 interchange, and we started letting up these residential neighborhoods pop up off 55, Edgewater, Kensington, and that's kind of now blocking any thought that we're having now about making this into industrial or commercial property. I don't know.
Well, if we're looking out 10 or 20 years in the future, this doesn't seem to be too illogical in that it's going from lower density housing, which we have in that area right now, to a higher density, which is what we need to support our workforce needs and demands for the companies. As you then would continue out west, one of the discussion points that we would have with the comprehensive plan update is, do you then begin to transition back to transition and use the transitional zoning of say office residential, or even one of the softer business districts to then create that commercial transition and then go to the industrial, rather than butting up industrial right against residential, which is never without controversy when the time comes for that first industry to want to build right next to somebody's backyard.
Right. Any other questions of staff or comments? Discussion? Okay, we now have a recommendation to make to council. Does anybody want to make such a recommendation?
I'll make a recommendation.
To do what?
Send it to council.
In what
For-
fashion?
Oh.
Come on, be specific.
To,
An affirmative or negative?
an affirmative to council, and so that they can hold a public hearing. Second.
There is a motion and support for the motion to go ahead and make a positive recommendation to council concerning the rezoning. Any further discussion? Please call the roll.
Mayor,
Yes?
Mr. Titterington,
Yes.
Mrs. Ehrlich,
Yes.
Mr. Wolke,
Yes.
Mr. Cappers,
No.
Mr. McGarry.
Yes.
Mr. Westmeyer.
Yes.
Motion is adopted.
Okay, next we have a historic district application for a certificate of appropriateness for 1 East Main Staff report.
Yes, sir. So this is for the exterior alteration to the storefront of Grandpa Joe's and Paint at 1 East Main Street. This is a continuation of the June 2019 rehabilitation project. So this is just isolated to that Grandpa Joe's storefront. The applicant is proposing to add PVC trim molding panels to cover the existing wood trophy cases on the Grandpa Joe's storefront. There's also a green tile that was left over from the 2019 rehab. You can see that in the attachment noted. Says remove green glass tile, and then that paint will then be that Waterloo paint, which is the same paint that was approved in 2019. They're also proposing to repair the soffits underneath that storefront. They've gotten in pretty bad shape. Ultimately, the trophy case will remain the same look. It'll just be a different material that'll withstand the elements a little bit better. Staff recommends approval of the proposed alterations in paint based on the following. The contributing features as referenced on the OHI form are being maintained. The paint color currently exists on the property, and the alterations will not detract from the integrity of the streetscape. And that'll conclude my report.
Is this on the parking lot side, or is this on the Main Street side?
This is on the Main Street side.
It's on the Main Street side.
Right by the crosswalk, yeah.
Okay. Any questions, staff?
Mr. Chair, so the color scheme, I mean, in the printout, it's not high quality. These are the same colors that are represented on the facade on the rest of the building?
Yeah, on the 29th.
Nothing different?
Nothing different.
Make a motion to approve.
Second.
Motion and support for the motion is made. Any further discussion? Please call the roll.
Mr. Titterington.
Yes.
Mrs. Early.
Yes.
Mr. Wolke.
Yes.
Mr. Cappers.
Yes.
Mr. McGarry.
Yes.
Mr. Westmeyer.
Yes.
Mayor.
Yes.
Approved, unanimous.
Staff have anything else to come before the commission today?
Yes, sir. So we had some illegal windows going on downtown. We issued a stop work order last week. They submitted a COA application for our next planning commission meeting. They are electing to move the application forward to be reviewed by you. We had told them that we were going to be recommending denial because it does not meet our guidelines, so just wanted to make you aware.
When you bring us the materials, would you get pictures of what they are planning and pictures of what's there now?
Yes.
So that we can tell the difference in
Yep.
the discussion?
Will the pictures be of the new windows that are there now that they have to take out, or will it be pictures of the old windows that were replaced?
I have pictures of both. So.
Yeah, so just to fill everybody in, this is the 405 building, and they've replaced how many windows on the third floor? 5 on the third floor with, what?
Single pane.
Yeah.
Single pane, with
With
all the
the
buttons,
grills
interior,
yeah.
inside the glass.
And they did that all before we figured it out, and then we put a stop work order, so they've got several of them there, but they don't match what's there now. And I don't recall, did they do some replacements, that they actually got approval on the second floor or the first floor at some
They
point?
got approval for windows directly on the next building over, but not on the 405 building.
They replaced some at the Bakehouse building,
Yes,
and they had approval for that.
they got approval.
And are those windows in the Bakehouse building what they're seeking approval for now in this other building?
No, these are totally different custom windows, yeah.
If they got permission for the Bakehouse building, why didn't they think they needed to get permission for this building?
That is a good question.
That would be a question for next planning commission, perhaps?
I think they're, from what I understand, they're thinking that the change in the windows were a maintenance item and not something that needed to come before us. Surprise.
Well, that's
Okay, anything else to come before
the
the commission
optimist.
today? Staff, commission members have anything?
Do I see we don't have a meeting on the 10th, or we are having a meeting on the?
Next meeting is the 10th.
Oh, next meeting, sorry, my eyes are bad. I said no meeting. My apology, I'll see you on the 10th.
Before we adjourn, I do want to continue this discussion just a
Totally
little
read that
bit
wrong.
about the new comprehensive code. We haven't had one since 2005. We have talked about updates to it. I would urge planning to go ahead and do that. In particular, take a look at commercial industrial inventory, and I think that's very important. I don't know that we ought to concentrate solely on the 41 interchange when we have the 55 interchange. And lastly, I feel bad that Tip City's taken over the exit 69 interchange, and that Pickle was soon to be taking over the 75 interchange up there on 25A. If there's any planning that can be done about possibly annexing to get up to there, I think that'd be warranted, even if it were to the point that we do something in exchange for, extending utilities, things like that. That just seems to make sense for the future of the city to maintain those interchanges, because those interchanges are the ones that are going to go ahead and give us manufacturing tax base and things like that. So, anyway, I've said my piece.
No, I think I think we've had that strategy a little bit more deliberate than maybe we'd like to. For example, we have run water service up Experiment Farm to the transformer just south of the hospital. Annexation and all that to that far north would certainly be a challenge for a variety of reasons, not mentioning any particular property owners that are there.
Like the county commissioners?
Well, or a certain hospital that,
Oh.
among others, like, several farmers that would like to stay unincorporated. And when we talk about 55, again, that's not out of the realm of possibilities. We do think that there's some redevelopment that we could be doing around the interchange there and make better utilization of some spots there, but that, of course, takes time and probably a lot more money than we'd like to spend. But duly noted, and again, this process is going to be a comprehensive one.
Okay, thank you. Anything else? I'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Is there a second?
Sorry.
Mr. Westmeyer, all those in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? We stand adjourned. Thank you for your attendance.
Okay, look at some kind of language thing.